Here we are again, in the dark. Are you in the dark? Do you know if you are in the dark? Sometimes we don't know that we're in the dark. The funny thing about deception is this. When you are deceived, you don't know that you are deceived. When you are deceived as to what the truth is, you believe the truth that you have been taught, instead of seeking the truth yourself. And then you have those that see a light and they gravitate to that light with tunnel vision, not realizing that the light you are perceiving as the light is causing you to only see that light. This video that I am making is to kind of help you in your journey to try to understand the light that you're seeing. And just as this tunnel, you see a light at the end of it, it keeps you from seeing anything else. And you end up with tunnel vision. And you're not able to see the truth of that light, or not even the lights that are from the Most High. As you know, I had deleted every video on my channel. It had nothing to do with anything other than my coming to the Lord and presenting myself to Him again. And the Lord revealed to me that someone believed that because they had rebuked me that was why. Well, and I laughed, and the Most High laughed with me. But it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with me and my journey for Yom Kippur. I truly wanted to make sure that I was in the will of the Most High. And so what I did was I deleted all of the videos on my channel because a part of me felt as though I had come before the time, or was teaching before the time. And even though the Most High was revealing stuff to me still, I wanted to make sure that He has a timing, and I wanted to make sure everything was in a time frame. And 20 years ago, He had told me that I would know the time was drawing nigh when everything He had taught me, I would start seeing bits and pieces everywhere. Basically like a puzzle. Like He had given me the whole picture. And then it became a puzzle. And one piece He sent here, and one piece He sent there, one piece He sent there, and one piece He sent here. And it is like that. People who understand one part of the puzzle, they don't see the rest of it. And then others that have one part of the puzzle, they don't see the rest of it. So He is sending the pieces out to different places and different areas. And before the great time of the end, He's going to pull all those puzzle pieces together. There will be some that have a piece of the puzzle that will find other pieces of the puzzle and will start putting the puzzle together. But there are some that will continue to just hold on to that piece of the puzzle and reject the rest of it. People don't understand, and I want you to understand, we are in the beginning of sorrows. We are in the time where the tares are being pulled out of the wheat, the time where the sheep are separated from the goats, and all of that is very important. My purpose does not belong to me. It is not mine. It belongs to the Most High. And one of the things that the Father revealed to me, oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I had to pause for a second. But, this is a light through a tunnel, but the Lord revealed to me that somebody is going to make it seem like it's the evil eye, because it looks like an eye with a light in it, and I couldn't help but laugh. That it's going to be the reptilian eye, it's going to be all the Illuminati eye, it's going to be all these eyes, and it's not. It has nothing to do with that. I've got the camera going through like really a paper towel holder to represent my tunnel. I should have painted it black, I guess. But that would have been worse, I feel. But anyway, with that said, I'm sorry I have a little bit of a sinus thing going on. But one of the teachings that he had... Well, anyway, let me get back to that. So I deleted everything on my channel, and I did Yom Kippur, and I did my Siddur the way he had told me and instructed me to do it, and I did it for 7 days, and on the 7th day, I did it, and I went and lit my candles and went before him, and the whole time I was doing it, I was just weeping and weeping and weeping, and I said, Father, I said, Father, I'm doing this for Jacob, and I just wept and wept and wept for Jacob. I mean, and it was like 20 years ago when he had me in the weeping, and I would feel his sorrow all over me, and that night I felt his sorrow all over me, very strong, and it was really a magnificent moment with my Father in heaven, and it was just most amazing. His presence was so strong with me as I wept for Jacob and prayed and asked him to please remember his promise to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and even Esau and all of the children, but especially Jacob. I did it for Jacob, and it was amazing. It was just so amazing, and he had told me that one day when he did put me in front of the world, that I would be constantly weeping, that the weeping would be nonstop, and people that know me, I've never been one to cry, but when the spirit of sorrow falls upon me, I can't stop weeping. I just cannot stop weeping. And it is so moving to me, and that's where I was. So I said to the Father, I said, well, as you guide me and move me to bring videos back, then I will bring the videos back one at a time, and whichever ones that he chooses for me to bring back. But for now, this video has to do with teaching you the difference between righteous and self-righteousness. Because they are the difference between being holy before the Lord and clean before the Lord, and wicked and unclean before the Lord. I remember when he took me through the Word for 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, and 1 hour. When he took me through and trained me and taught me, I learned a very different thing from what I had been taught. But, you know, the focus mostly was on the words he spoke. The living Eliaba Irawa, what he spoke. And what he spoke, as I teach you, trumps everything. Everything. But one of the things that, when I came across it, made me go, wow. Wow. And it was him speaking, and he said, there are the righteous, there are the wicked, and then there are, King James Version, there are the sinners. Which I now know the original was the world, or the people of the world. And I could not help but ask him, well, Father, wait a minute. I was taught that the wicked are the people of the world, the sinners. But you're saying there are 3 types of people, that there's the righteous, the wicked, and then there are the sinners, and according to the King James. And I said, I'm a little confused. I always was taught the wicked are the sinners, the people of the world. These are the wicked. And he said, no. The wicked are the self-righteous. The wicked are those that use my scriptures and my laws to be wicked by judging the world, accusing the world, and condemning the world. These are the wicked, not the people of the world. The people of the world are exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And when I look out into the world now, I understand. If you remember, Babylon was destroyed by another nation, another kingdom. And when I look out into the world, I realize that he is doing something in the world. He is actually raising up that kingdom that is going to destroy the kingdom of Babylon. Very simple. We do not understand or realize that he uses everyone for his glory. So the difference between righteousness and wickedness is the difference between righteousness and self-righteousness. I'm sorry, I have to keep stopping the video so that I can drain my my sinuses and cough. I think I'm getting a cold. I hope not. But anyway, but the difference between wickedness and righteousness is the difference between righteousness and self-righteousness. So let me see if I can explain to you. The righteous are the sheep, and the self-righteous are the goats. Those who are righteous, when they go through the narrow gate, we're going to get there too. When they go through the narrow gate, and they go through the proper way, they understand that they are not allowed to judge anyone in the world for any reason. Because when you judge, that causes you to accuse. And when you accuse, that causes you to condemn. when you judge based on the things written in Scripture, then you have taken on the role of the accuser. And we know Yahshua told us who the accuser is. But when you go through the proper gate, the narrow gate, and people throw that around loosely in a way, when you truly do go through the narrow gate, you understand. You are not to judge anyone in the world, no matter what. You are not to judge. The righteous teach that concept. The righteous teach salvation. The righteous saves souls. The wise, those who are wise. But the self-righteous, they don't. They use what is written and use it to accuse the world, to judge the world first, and then they use it to accuse the world, and then they use it to condemn the world. See, you condemn with your tongue, and that's how you will be condemned. In what judgment you might to the world, you will get that judgment twice. And that was what Yahshua said. He made it very clear. If you judge the world, which he did not, you will not find any scripture where he judged the world. For he said, I did not come to condemn the world, but to save it. That was what he said. Irregardless of whether you believe in him or not, this is what he said. But because we have a hard time focusing on him, because another came along and put your focus on him. See, you have the king of the sheep and the king of the goats, and you don't see it. However, to get back to the teaching, the laws were not set up. The Most High did not make a covenant with the world. He made a covenant with the children of Israel. And anyone that wants to serve the God of the children of Israel are also under that covenant. He said that. Any stranger that comes amongst you, a sojourner, and they want to serve me, they also must abide by these laws. He did not set up those laws for them to look at them and say, oh, well, those people in that kingdom are sinners. They're wicked. Those people are... Sinning means basically breaking of the law, because you broke the law. He didn't make a covenant with the world. He made a covenant with the children of Israel and anyone that wants to follow or serve the God of Israel. It's very simple. But when you take those laws and you use them and try to apply them to the world, that's when you become wicked. That's where your self-righteousness comes. Because you believe, well, we are righteous, we are the ones that are holy. It's the gleam of self-righteousness in your eye. We are the ones that are holy, and those of the world, are the wicked. They are the sinners. They are the ones that are breaking the covenant. No, he didn't have a covenant with them. They can't break a covenant that they have not participated in. The Most High did not go to the world and make a covenant with them. So here comes who? Yahshua, where we are believed that he is the one that set up the third covenant, which is also a part of that deception. The third covenant has not been set up yet. He helped point in the direction of how the third covenant will come about, but he did not set up the third covenant. He never told you, here, I have set up the third, this is the final covenant. This is the third covenant. Because the Ruach is in your heart, so that's the covenant. No, that's not the covenant. It has nothing to do with the covenant. If that was the covenant, you would know not to judge the world. That you would know. But you do. You do. So let me get to the narrow gate. What is the narrow gate? Everything falls down to perception. And I can tell you, man's perception of the narrow gate is wrong. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard preachers say, well, you can't, this is the narrow gate, you have to come through Yahshua. He is the narrow gate, or some scripture, or this is the narrow gate. This kingdom is the narrow gate. It's not so. It's a lie. Yahshua told you that you must come through the narrow gate, and if you come any other way, the same is a thief. So if you come through any other way, you are a thief. And he later told you what the narrow gate was, but he didn't say, now this is the narrow gate. He didn't tell you what it was. He told you something that the living Father in heaven told you. And it is the narrow gate. But he didn't say, this is the narrow gate. And I am going to reveal to you the narrow gate. If you come in any way but the narrow gate, then you are a thief, and you are trying to steal righteousness. You are trying to steal God's righteousness. The living Eliyahu, you are trying to take his righteousness from him. You are a thief. And you have allowed a thief to teach you to be a thief. It's real simple. The narrow gate is this. And this is one of my biggest teachings. I will continue to teach this. This is the greatest teaching I have for you. It is the most important teaching of all of the teachings. You must learn it line upon line, line upon line, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, and write down every word that the Most High spoke. Because every word that the Most High spoke is the root of salvation. Let me tell you again the narrow gate. The narrow gate is line upon line, line upon line, precept upon precept, precept upon precept. You have to learn and understand everything that went on and happened before you can even begin to understand salvation. Before you can even begin to understand Yahshua. So if you come into it, and this is for everybody, Jews, Muslims, Christians, everyone. If you come in and you do not learn line upon line and learn each precept as it is presented to you, so that you can understand the next precept when it is presented to you, you will fail. You are a thief. You are trying to be righteous without the hard work. And that makes you self-righteous. And that makes you wicked. If you use anything written in that whole book to judge, to accuse, to condemn, you are self-righteous and you are wicked. The Most High said, judge not, for only He knows the hearts of man. Yahshua came along and said, judge not, for in the meter you judge, it is that meter that you will be judged twice. So who is your master? If your master told you to read it line upon line, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, then that's what you need to do. That is the narrow gate. If you are trying to teach without doing that, then you are a thief. And you are teaching the kingdom of the thief. Father, you are the Holy One, the living, the one who is, and there is no other. Be ye glorified forever, Father.